Guys, you're watching Go.2. We're on the second part of Series 8. If you haven't already, check out my other video on Series 8. We talked about Deep Breath all the way up to Kill the Moon. Now we're talking about Mommy on the Orient Express till Dark Water, Death in Heaven. Then we're going to talk about Series 9 next week, so stick around for next week's video. Also check out Series 7 and check out my opinions on Matt Smith's era as a whole, the 11th Doctor's era, and also check out I did a video on Time with the Doctor as well, if you want to check out that video. Let's get into the video anyway of Mommy on the Orient Express. Let's just talk about it. As always, I rank the videos out of 10 and give my opinions and tell a bit of what happened in the story because it jogs my memory a long way. Tell you what scenes I liked and not. Anyway, let's get into the video. So, Mommy on the Orient Express now. The last hurrah. Clara and 12 are leaving on this high note. Clara can't just leave the door slammed with 12th Doctor. She's angry in the last episode with him. She wants to leave 12th Doctor now. She's done with him. She tells Danny, and Danny's quite happy with that, but obviously he knows she won't give it up. He knows her too well, and obviously she lied to him in future episodes, saying she has ended it with him when she hadn't. Also, she lied to 12 and saying Danny's okay with it. Anyway, that's at the end of this episode. Let's talk about this as a whole. So it's meant to be a last hurrah. Clara wants to end it on a high note. So the Doctor's taking her on Mummy on the Orient Express. He's taking her to this basically spaceship sort of Orient Express. This train that travels through space, I guess. And I think this story works quite well. You have this mummy that kills people in 60 seconds. Start the clock. We see this old woman gets killed off. She's not the best. He is not a nice woman from what we get from the woman, the daughter sees her mum get killed off and she didn't really like her mum and stuff like that. Anyway, we see just the mummy in action and how it kills, and only the victim that is after can see the mummy. No one else can. And we have details of that, and we learn that the mummy is actually a soldier, and it's been in this little robot thing that's inside him to make the mummy go along for so long. It just wants to end it, but it has to just keep going as it's a soldier. So it starts killing people, and Gus, the person of the train, this robot inside, it's more like Iron Man's Siri gone wrong. So Gus is the whole expedition, sent all these scientist doctors out to try and work out the mystery of the Mummy on Orient Express. We also have a singer, Fox, I think her name is. She's quite a famous singer and she's quite good, and she was in the episode, which was a nice cameo, an odd thing to happen, but we'll take it. 12 and Clara, yet again, they're nice dynamic, and later on Clara gets angry at 12 again for making Clara lie and seeing these strategy 12th Doctor in mode again, which we've seen from the start of the series. So she's very angry at 12 for that aspect, but then she decides to stay with 12 again. That dynamic she can't give up. It's like an addiction. Then we also have the 12th Doctor investigating, and we also have this person. I don't know his name. I've forgotten. But he does match the 12th Doctor very well, and he's basically the caretaker, if you will, of the train station, and he's doing some investigating of his own. And then it's like Doctor knows Parker and stuff like that, and then it's quite a fun little scene between them. The mummy killing people was quite interesting to see as well. There's not a lot more to this. It's just a run around and trying mystery and how to stop the mummy. Then we learn out it's a soldier, and then they say they surrender, and he's relieved of his duties, and the mummy disappears. Then Gus is found out how this mummy was done, so he doesn't need the people anymore, so he starts killing them off, which he's killed off before to make them stay on track. Please turn off your phones, and 12th Doctor doesn't turn off your phone, so he starts killing people that are less important on the trip. Gus does, and now he's learnt about the mummy. He doesn't need the people anymore, so he kills them all off, which the 12th Doctor uses to his advantage and teleports everyone to the nearest city, and they're all safe and stuff like that. And Gus blows up the train, really, and stops the oxygen. And Clara and 12 go off together, save the day. Yeah, it's a nice, fun story. 9 out of 10. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's certainly where the 12th Doctor's arrived properly. I mean, he arrived from the very beginning, but he's really come into his character now, and it's quite interesting to see Clara try and learn about him more, and interesting this story has become. Flatline, so Flatline is basically the first of many. This is really where Clara starts turning into the Doctor. This is the very beginning, I think. She gets the hang and gist of it. So basically these 2D creatures, the creatures are trying to come 3D, and they are absorbing the TARDIS energy and making the TARDIS become smaller, leaving the Doctor to get trapped inside the TARDIS. And then we have that whole dynamic with him trapped inside, and Clara fitting the TARDIS in her handbag because it's that small, and which is again quite a nice thing because it's like a toy, and selling that toys merch of a small TARDIS. I guess they can do that little thing quite well now. So we have the 12th Doctor trapped in the TARDIS now, and it's all down to Clara because she's out of the TARDIS, and then she gets her own little companion as well, Rigsy, and she says she's the Doctor when actually he's 12th Doctor's Doctor, obviously, and we see that dynamic of Clara trying to be the Doctor, and then she actually enjoys it and thinks she's a good Doctor, leading her into a demise in Series 9. Rigsy was a very lovely character, very new and fresh, and basically did some graffiti, so he's doing some time for his graffiti work, and the government are making him do clean-up duties and stuff like that. And it's come far along when we see him in Series 9 as well with his kid and stuff, so we can see the progression start to happen, and it's quite nice. We actually got him back for another episode as well, so Rigsy I absolutely love, and I think Clara chose well with her companions. 12 obviously calling people names and whatnot, and leaving it all down to her and giving her sonics and stuff, so Clara has to do everything. That's basically 12's episode until the end, where 12 appears, ties back to normal, and 12 Doctor sonics them back into 2D, really, and gets them begone, and everyone's all happy and survived again. Before that, we have Clara investigating, and it's quite nice to see. Rigsy almost gets scared off, but then Clara brings him back and shows the Doctor that he's in the TARDIS. You really put your companions in the deep end. We also have this police officer that gets turned into 2D and killed and crushed, and we see some of her bits and pieces on the wall and stuff. It's quite interesting and scary to see. Danny knows that she's still with the 12th Doctor. You can hear the screams and stuff on the phone when he calls. So that dynamic's leading in again. We also have Missy return with the death of people getting killed and stuff like that. What else? Yeah, the 2D creatures. We see that aspect in them coming to 3D and stuff like that, and they're just monsters basically. They don't care, and they're threatening and teasing people on. We also have this other person that Rigsy goes head to head with, rivalries, and he's a horrible person, this old man, and he doesn't care about anyone. He's like, I wouldn't leave sleep with all these people that died. They're all criminals anyway, low-life thugs. So yeah, he wins off alive, sadly, when you think he should die out of all of them. We saved people, but maybe the wrong people died. That was a reference from 12. Clara doing some more investigating, saying, on the only chance you've got survival, and Sonic and I'm the Doctor and the psychic paper. That was nice link additions to do, make the companion new and strong. What else? Clara using the 2D creatures to their advantage, using their weapons against them, as the Doctor would do. She makes this drawing up, Rigsy draws this door, and the 2D creatures are trying to open this door when they put the TARDIS behind it to make it back to normal and save the day. We also have this scene where the TARDIS is getting crushed by the train, which we think is the end of the 12th Doctor, obviously not. And a little Addams Family hand movement there, it was funny. But yeah, the TARDIS back to normal now, and save the day. 9 out of 10. Fun, interesting story. Now we're on to Forest of the Night, and yeah, it's very bad. It's appalling story now. It's not as bad as people say it is, but it is bad. So basically, there's basically meteorites or something from the sun every certain thousands of years. This happens, so the trees grow really rapidly to save the earth, and the ones that leave trees behind, so humans still have trees at the end, but there's loads of trees to make a shield, and then they get damaged, so they're safe. And people are trying to burn down the trees, but obviously they're burn proof because they're designed to save the planet, really, and that happens every so often. That's basically the whole story, with people trying to burn down the trees when the trees are there for safety. Then we learn, and then the trees got the end of the episode. And there's a kid that's lost, and then at the end of the episode, the tree disappears, and the kid comes out the tree. So the kid's been behind that bush the whole time. What? Then we also have this other kid that's really annoying. I'm going to say Ginger Kid to describe her. I'm not dissing Gingers or anything, just describing. So this Ginger Kid who actually played the voice of Peppa Pig. She's really annoying and horrible to talk to. God. And then you have this other brat, annoying this other brat, and then just fighting stuff. All the kids in this are horrible. They're just really annoying, and they ask stupid questions, and Sir, Danny, Pink and Clara, and you just think, yes, kids act like that, but they don't act that annoying. And then voices, and it's just horrible. The acting a bit naff, and yeah, I'm not a fan. Clara and Danny, Clara's just loving it and going off on an adventure where Danny's like, we need to protect the kids, and Clara's like, yeah, sure, let's do this. And then Danny's like, no, we need to get the kids to their mums and dads. And then we also have the mum and dad trying to worry, and we see that aspect, and then whole of London covered in that. And obviously these branches and stuff have opened, all zoos, and all these creatures come out, and we have to deal with lions and foxes and stuff like that. Yeah, there's not much to it. 12th Doctor in this episode doesn't really do anything. He's just there, and he's dealing with kids. You can see 12 can react with kids quite well, and also play the 12th Doctor so well as well. And yeah, there's no Courtney in this episode, which is different and interesting, but I guess it's a lower year. It's a different year, so year 9 or whatever, year 10 you've got. So yeah, it's different kids, different dynamic. Sadly, we got really bad kids. Clara trying to be all over the place. Then she says, 12th Doctor, I'm not going to be the last of my own kind. You go, because I think it's going to be the end of them all. And it's not. Yeah. Basically, a 6 out of 10. Not the best story, and there's not much to talk about in this episode. Yeah. Oh yeah, Missy has a tablet saying, oh Clara, I have chose well, haven't I? I think it's in this episode she does that, but yeah. So, yeah. Now we're into the final of Series 8, and stick around for next week with Series 9. I'll be talking about that, so stick around for Series 9, and check my videos out on Series 8 Part 1, Series 7, to the 11th Doctor era, and Time with the Doctor. Check them videos out if you haven't already. Anyway, let's get into Dark Water, Death in Heaven. So Danny gets run over. Basically, the start of the episode, he dies a very normal death, which is very shocking to see in a Doctor Who episode. We actually see Clara's family for once. Clara's granny for a couple of seconds. Oh, right. No character development there then. And Clara's granny is obviously from Belladorm, that old granny from Belladorm. Very different aspect of character development. And also Clara's granny played, fun fact, it was in a classic Doctor Who story, in the classic Doctor Who. So that's a little cameo there. Didn't know. I saw that in the special features on the DVD. Anyway, right, let's get into the rest of the story. So Clara wants to get Danny Pink back. She's dead, and you know what? She knows her way to get her back. Threaten the Doctor. So she uses these things to try and make the Doctor, and the Doctor reverses it and put it back on her, basically. These little things to make her patches asleep. It makes you think what you want to think, really, and Clara got it wrong. Anyway, the Doctor and Clara, we have that versus moment. Clara versus the Doctor. We've thrown all the TARDIS keys into the volcano, which is a thing to destroy all the keys, apparently. Even though the 12th Doctor can just click his fingers, you know, that little reference from Series 4 and the whole of Series 11, Matt Smith era, where he's clicking his fingers, you know, to open doors. You could do that instead of keys, you know, just saying. River told you this, Doctor, remember. So why is it a big thing about Clara throwing all the keys when you can just click your hands? Anyway, Clara's thrown all the keys away, the Doctor's trapped forever, and then we wake up from the dream sequence, and that Clara would say she would do it again, and Clara's betrayed the 12th Doctor, Anyway, Clara's done damage to the 12th Doctor. I can't speak, I can't say it right. 12th Doctor's furious with Clara, but then he's still going to help her. He's still going to save Danny. All she had to do was ask. So they go to the dead, and we learn that it's St. Paul's Cathedral, I think it is. I'm not particularly sure. I think it's that, where all the Cybermen and all the dead bodies are. We learn that the dead bodies are Cybermen, and they start waking up. That's really the whole episode, with Danny seeing the kid that he killed when he was a soldier, and we get to see flashbacks of Danny, as a soldier and stuff like that, which was a long time coming. And obviously Danny crying in other episodes about killing someone who wasn't a soldier, which was sadly this boy. And the boy runs off and stuff, and it doesn't get resolved. There's not much to it. It's just building up to the finale, really, and it's still a very good dark story. Don't cremate me. That really persuades me not to get cremated now, because what if your bodies can feel after death? I mean, I don't believe in afterlife or anything like that. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything. But part of me would think, what if, So I wouldn't want to get cremated and stuff, and I know certain people have got cremated, and yeah, it would be horrific, all that burning and stuff like that. Anyway, Clara pretends to be the Doctor to get saved by the Cybermen, so she don't get killed. The Cybermen are coming, blah blah blah, and they're upgrading, and they're all coming and all that. And Danny's from the morgue centre got this piece of paper with Danny's name on, so we know it's Danny out of all the Cybermen. And Danny saves Clara and stuff like that, and we have a cliffhanger of Missy as the Master. Yes, the Master is the Missy, and we have that cliffhanger, and 12 and the shock on our faces. Now, I actually watched this episode in a cinema sort of setting. So basically, we had this massive settee, this TV, because we were on a school trip, if you will, and we had to stay and watch this massive screen, and thank God, there was actually a few people who wanted to watch Doctor Who. So we had this massive cinema, and we watched the semi-final of Doctor Who. And yeah, we got to watch that on the big screen. It was quite nice to see all the people reacting in the same room as me, learning that Missy was the Master. That was quite a shock. It was quite nice to see. So now when we got home, and this is in my own living room now, I was going to watch Doctor Who and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. This is the second part. This is the finale part now. Obviously, Clara tries to escape. Danny kills all the Cybermen that's going to kill Clara, gets Clara and safe into this morgue centre and the graveyards. So the unit come along and they threaten the Cybermen, and then the Cybermen fly up and blow up to create pollen, to create more Cybermen, and of course Osgood's there and counting the Cybermen. It's 91, I think, Cybermen blowing up in the right times at the right point. The Cybermen don't blow up for no reason. Missy, we have that dynamic. That's quite a nice dynamic. At the start she's a flirtation, acting like a robot for some reason. Then we learn that Missy is the Master, and that 12 versus Missy moment was quite nice to see. And then the friendship. We have Kate Stewart back, and she's acting all cocky, and then by the end of it, she's not really anything. She gets blown out of the airplane. Osgood gets killed off. And then we realise in Series 9, she's not just Osgood. There's loads of Osgoods now. Well, there's only 2, but then another one replaces that one. So now there's loads of Osgoods, you can say. Anyway, at the time, you think that's very... Oh, wow. Missy killed Osgood. That's a death and a half, isn't it? Now the impact of Series 9 has kind of deflated that. But, still good. Death to see Osgood get killed off. Insert death and horrible way of Missy. And Missy keeping a countdown. Missy doesn't care, which is very nice to see your Master just killing off anyone and having fun. Like, oh, I like to kill all your friends. Boop, and you're dead. And she kills off her own workmen as well. In both episodes, she kills the workmen in the first episode, and she kills off this other one when he's going permission to squeak, and he just gets blown up. 12 gets knocked out, and before that he says, watch the graveyards, and you've got these basically these clouds, pollen sprinkling down on the dead and upgrading the dead. The dead start coming out the gravestones and stuff like that. So Brigadier, Sarah Jane and all the others are Cybermen now, and Brigadier saves Kate Stewart from the grave and then shoots Missy at the end, so the 12th Doctor's soul is saved and Brigadier flies off. That's his dynamic of the episode. Earth's darkest hour, where would you be? Yeah, there's nice reference to the Brigadier in the plane as well, with the like this picture, and 12 goes, oh, you brought Daddy along, I can see. And then he's like, he always wanted you to salute and stuff like that. It's quite nice to bring back the classic era of that cameo. Yet again, bringing in New Who and the classic era together was quite nice. Even though a lot of people say, oh, it's New Who, oh, it's classic, it's separate. It's not, it's the same show. Sorry. 12th Doctor knows that Missy's escaped now, he needs to go and get her, and then she blows up the ship and the Cybermen are tearing it apart, gets rid of Osgood, and Kate Stewart gets jumped out the airplane, and Brigadier saves her. And then 12 fall into his death, and then he gets into the TARDIS in a cool, dramatic style, which is quite nice to see. And then Missy appears in the graveyard, and so does 12, and they need to give Danny his emotions back to learn what's happening to the Cybermen. They do that, they learn that of what the Cybermen are planning and what Missy's planning, and it's all just to give the Doctor an army. So all this time Missy spent a whole generation of people in the dead waking up to be upgraded into Cybermen for no reason, just to give the Doctor an army for him to refuse and go no. So you can kind of think this is a what, why, and it's apparently the Doctor's birthday and stuff like that. And then yeah, we see Danny being strong enough to not be upgraded and like that. And then Danny just blows up all the Cybermen. They go off and save the day. And Missy is left on her own with no army, wiped out in like a couple of seconds. And yeah, she just did it because she wants her friend back. And Missy, and Clara's furious with Missy. You know, she lost Danny for her. All this is on her. And if the Doctor lets her live, it's all on the Doctor. So she's going to kill him, and then the Doctor takes the weapon from Clara, and then he decides to kill her. That was quite a nice, dark moment, because, like, obviously they're old friends, they've old villain frenemies, and then this is how it's going to come down to, and then the Doctor knows she's going to escape, because Series 9, we have an answer to that, which we'll later talk about in the next series, so stick around for that. But yeah, Missy dies in some way with bracket marks, you know, she doesn't die, she comes back, it's just a teleport of some kind anyway. And then Clara and 12 say goodbye to each other. Clara says that she got Danny back from the dead when he didn't. Danny had only one bracelet and gave the kid that he killed the bracelet so he could go back to his family. So Danny's dead and Clara is left on her own and lies to the Doctor saying she got Danny back. So 12 lied about Gallifrey and said that because Missy told him about the coordinates, and that acting at the end where 12 is smashing the console is so good and so interesting to see. And then, yeah, we think Gallifrey's back and it's not. And that's so much anger for the 12th Doctor. I absolutely love that moment. And then Clara is lying to the Doctor and 12 is lying to Clara, and they all go separate ways. Ready for the Christmas special where she gets brought back, and then we have Series 9 again with Clara. Woo! Yeah, 9 out of 10 for the first part, 9 out of 10 for the second, and a 9 out of 10 overall for the two-parter. And for the series, I might just give it an 8.5 out of 10 for the whole series. Yeah, I really enjoyed this series. It's a very dark and interesting series, and yeah, so much more to come on this channel. Yeah, I really enjoyed the series so far, and I'm going to talk about Series 9 next week. So yeah, stick around for that. Give your opinions on how I can improve my videos, because I'm always up for that. And I'll see you guys very soon.